So this was the first trade I got, and this person had a firefly. And of course, I do have it that I'm looking for fireflies in my profile. So I actually put in this green butterfly for it. And I actually did realize afterwards that I was over with this. But so I never ended up actually doing this. But I still said this or change, and they asked for changes. So I just put in like a bunch of legendaries and other good pets. So I just said like one of these plus an ad. And then I just put in a bunch of legendaries. And of course the mini schnauzer is not a legendary, but at the time the mini schnauzer actually had really good value. So that's why I put that in. And I put that cuddly candle in, a winged horse. I just put in like a bunch of legendaries. For sure a lot of legendaries I put in there. I was really just looking around for legendaries to add, for them to pick. So then I put in them all and I said any. And of course I think the green butterfly is better. So then they said I'll do the green butterfly instead. But I did check values and it was a lose. So then I said like I wanted them to add. So I just said like, wait, actually, is it okay if you add a small random? And yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel bad for asking them to add a small random, but I kind of regret putting in the green butterfly. So that's why I asked for that. So then they wanted to put in a comment. I feel like they were trying to add like as little randoms as possible, which is why they said common. They just really wanted to add their lowest tier pets. But then I said like maybe not common unless if it's two commons. So they put in this Kai Junior, which I do not want the Kai Juniors, but I just said yeah, that's fine, thank you so much, because I just really wanted the fireflies, and I didn't want to be too picky because I really needed those fireflies to make my neon, and I want to make a mega firefly as well. So yeah. Now, this next trade was actually one of the most annoying trades I've ever been in because they had free fireflies, of course. The other person had free fireflies. And of course, I'm looking for fireflies to make a mega. And so I really wanted those free fireflies, especially because it was like so many all at once. So I asked for them to pick, and I put in a bunch of different legendaries again. I put in pretty much the same ones, like the mini schnauzer, which is not a legendary, but still. I put the cuddly candle, the winged horse, the diamond dragon, the gargoyle, and I kept putting ride pets by accident, but I really don't want to trade. I try not to trade ride pets for non-ride pets, just because I prefer to have ride pets. Anyways, a Spinosaurus, a black and chocolate chow chow, a priceless shrimp, um, I put in ancient dragon, a golden king penguin, a billy goat, just like a bunch of randoms, a diamond mahi mahi, I think, a nautilus, mama moose, a blue beta fish, coconut friend, and I can't see the rest. So I just said pick free, and I can add with any of the free you pick, like, and they said like what ads. So I just said like it depends what you pick, because of course if you pick lower tier pets from my options, then I'll give more ads, but if you pick better pets from here, then I'll give less ads. So then they were thinking about it for a while, and while they were thinking about it, I saw that they were looking for Siamese cats. So I just said like, are you looking for Siamese cats, by the way? Because I could trade you some, because I have a bunch of Shane snacks. I actually had, and we can see it on the top right, I had 343 at the time I recorded this. So I had a bunch of Shane snacks. So I just said like, I can buy a Siamese cat if you want one. Of course not for free, but like for them to offer, of course, or maybe to offer the Siamese cats for the fireflies. Um, but I would definitely trade the Siamese cats for the fireflies if it were like a good trade. I don't know. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, this trade was taking forever. Like, I really wanted those fireflies, but this trade was taking ages. And I definitely, and then I started walking around the home pass area because I was like, oh, maybe they'll take the Siamese cats for the fireflies. I'm not quite sure. So I wanted to be near if we were to. Anyways. But then they said, do you want something for it or not? If not, maybe for the fireflies, like something on that page. So then I saw they had like a little pick for section. Like I could pick some of these for those pets they were looking for. And I completely missed this section before. I didn't even realize that it said pick for. I only looked at their looking for section. I didn't look at what they were willing to trade for them. So I actually didn't see anything on their profile that I liked at the time. But now looking back, I probably should have picked like the neon Kieran for the Siamese cat, but I didn't. And like I do wish if I could go back in time I would say that, but the trade didn't go through anyways. Just like a little spoiler, but I asked what for the fireflies because I still really really want those fireflies to make my mega, of course. And I don't know if I will make a mega anymore. Like I do really want to, but they're kind of hard to find. So if I do give up at neon, I mean they're not hard to find, but it's like I don't know if I really want to do so much aging because it's legendaries and they take so long. Anyways, the person actually said I need randoms. Would you do randoms instead? So I just asked like, oh, do you just want like a bunch of randoms? Because personally, I would not trade my legendaries. Actually, I would trade my legendaries for a bunch of randoms, but it's like I don't know if I would do the fireflies for a bunch of randoms. So I started adding in a lot of randoms. And when people ask me to add randoms, I never know, like, should I add commons, uncommons, rares, ultra rares? And, of course, ultra rares are probably best, so I try to offer ultra rares. And I try to offer a mix of, like, some cute pets, some less cute pets, just to, like, mix it up a little bit. Because I do want to get rid of my harder to trade pets, but I also want to give them some good stuff so that they won't think that I'm just throwing in all my garbage at them. So I did add that Pomeranian in there because of that reason, even though I do love the Pomeranians. I did add it in so that the trade would look better than it actually was. So I put in a bunch of randoms, and I was really hoping they would take this because this would be so good for the fireflies. It would be such a good trade for me. But then they asked me if I could change the fishes and the amber butterfly. So I wasn't quite sure which ones counted as fishes. So I asked them what counts as fish. But I took out the swordfish. And you know what happened? They ended up leaving the game. And I don't know why they left the game, but they just randomly left the game. So I kept looking for them. I was like, why did they leave the game? Like, where did they go? But I don't know if they disconnected. Maybe they did because I think we were both about to accept, so I don't know why they would just leave the game on me. So I would assume that they disconnected, but I'm still not quite sure. But it's just a bummer because I couldn't get that trade. Okay, so this next person traded me and they said, what for the 4 sloth? So I looked to see if I had any sloths and I had 0 sloths. So I just asked, like, what do you mean? Because I wasn't sure what they were talking about. So I went to check my profile and there were no sloths. So I was just very, very confused as to what they were talking about, right? So I went into their profile to see, I don't know, just to see a bit more about them. And it said the sloth that you had. So I just said, like, I don't have one, sorry. Because I know I have had sloths in the past, but at the moment, no, I do not have a single sloth. So I was just a little confused as to what they meant. So they asked, do you got one of them? So I just said, sorry, I traded mine. And I already said I don't have one, so I don't really know what they were expecting. But then they added in, like, some pets, and I don't really know if those pets were their offer for the sloth, or I wasn't sure what they meant, so I just kept seeing it again, like, I don't have any sloths, to hope that they would understand. But they just kept adding more pets, like the badger, the woodpecker, and said one of them, and I wasn't sure. I thought they meant, like, they wanted me to trade my sloth for one of them.
So I just said, where are you seeing that? Because I really didn't have any sloths. And again, I was like really looking through my profile. I was going for like a whole hunt through my profile to see what kind of sloth like pet they were talking about. Like what pet they were talking about that looked like a sloth. Because I really had no idea. None of them looked like sloths. And I really wasn't sure what they were talking about. Like at all. At all. I had no idea. So then they said the first because I need this free pets I added. And I don't know if I understood by then, but I just kept saying, I'm sorry I had no sloths, but what do you need? So, but I don't think I realized that the pets that they put in the trade were the pets that they were looking for. But apparently, the pets that they put in the trade were the ones they were looking for, and I did not understand that at all. So if you didn't see before, I did get a low memory warning and I did get disconnected from my server. So I actually um got kicked out of the server and got kicked out of the trade. So I still went back into the same server, I guess. So I was really hoping to see if that other person I was trading was still there, cuz maybe they had an offer for the pets that they were looking for. And in the end, I was about to give up, but then when I went to the pizza place to finish the pizza task, I found the person that I was trading before. I found the person that was looking for all those pets from before. And I really, because I did have a couple of the pets that they were looking for, so I was hoping that they would have an offer. And I don't know why I wanted to trade them so bad, because I was really, really hoping that they were going to be able to offer for the pets. So I waited for like a whole minute for them to get out of the trade, and then I finally said like, "Hi, I was the person from before," and they sent me a sad face. So I don't know if they're like mad at me for leaving the game, but I was looking for the pets that they wanted. So I said like, "What were the pets you wanted again?" so that I could see if I had any of them. Because I know that I do have at least one of them, if not maybe multiple. So I just said, like, I want to see if I have any. And, I can help them out, and maybe they can help me out by getting me a good offer as well. So then they said, I really want the frog, the ghost. So I just said, which frog, but not which from. And because I have so many different frogs, I actually have 4 tree frogs. Maybe I could make a neon. And I added in the ghost as well, because they asked for the ghost. But yeah, I was like not quite sure what they wanted. So they added in an ibis, and they also wanted to show that they were looking for an ibis. So I did have an ibis left over, and I looked up my woodpeckers, and I did have a woodpecker as well. So I had all of the pets that they were looking for. Well, not all, but I had quite a lot of them. So then they told me to remove the neon green ones. So I just assumed that they meant the tree frog, and I removed the bullfrog by accident. But yeah. And I removed that one. So they asked me like what for it. I'm not rich. So I just said like something cute maybe, because I just feel like the cute pets are usually easier to trade. So then they said I got a Kappa Kid, and that was definitely a cute pet, but I really don't think that it's worth the trade. And I'm gonna be honest, the pets that I was trading, like the poison dart frog, the ibis, the woodpecker, the bullfrog, I don't like those pets. And I do love the ghost, but apart from that, all of those other pets, I don't like them. And I guess I do like the Kappa kit that they are offering, but not as much as the ghost. And then the kelp raider, I don't know, like it's not my absolute favorite. Like, I guess the kelp raider is just like an okay pet, but I don't know, none of these pets I like more than the ghost so far. And their offer is pretty, I mean, it's really just 5 randoms for 2 randoms, so I think it would be not the smartest trade for me, and I don't know why this trade is taking so long, because it's really just randoms. So they added in the Kelp Hunter, and I actually don't like the Kelp Hunter. I I like the Kelp Hunter even less than the Kelp Raider personally. But that's just my opinion, of course. So I just said like, and then they added an ant, and I have way too many ants. Not that I don't like the ants, but they're not my favorite, and I have so many. And then they said, please, I got scammed. So I just said, sorry, you got scammed. Because there's really nothing that I can do about that. Like, I'm not going to give you free pets for that. Like, I think you can build back your inventory for sure. And then they said, I can't, I just got them. So I was really about to decline after that. So, because I just really I only liked the Kappa Kid really, but all of those other pets I wasn't super interested in. So I also said like I can remove some for just a Kappa Kid. So maybe I can trade like one of those pets for the Kappa Kid, maybe two, but probably not. I don't know. But I was seeing if they would take just one of these pets for the Kappa Kid. They also said, I do your pets old if you want. And I wasn't sure what they meant at the time, but then they said because I got 30 age ups. So I guess they meant like they would age up my pet for me, like, and make it older. But I just said like it's okay. I have age up pots because I have a lot of age up potions. I have a lot more than I need. So it's just this trade was very frustrating. And then they said, but I need them all. So I said, did you have a change? Because I just did not want the other pets. I only wanted the Kappa Kid, but then the others I did not care about at all. So I just said, like, can you change Kelp and Ant to a different pet? Because I don't. I have over 30 ants. I don't want any more ants. And then I have a couple of kelp hunters and kelp raiders, but I'm not the biggest fan of them anyways. This trade is actually taking so long, and it's been so frustrating so far. So they said I try, so I guess now they're going to switch out those pets to new pets. In the end, they put in a Shetland pony, and I'm gonna be honest, maybe I'm just being picky right now, but I do not like the Shetland ponies as well. Like, I do not. I don't like them, so I just said sorry, I don't want the kelp because they still haven't removed the kelp pets. They only removed the ant. So I again said please like change to kelp, and this trade was really, really frustrating to me. So I went to check and see how many Shetland ponies I already had, and I had 2 dark brown Shetland ponies. So I guess I wouldn't mind getting another one, but I still don't really like them. But honestly, that one's not bad. It's just the Kelp Hunter now. But then they added a Black Marlin, and they swapped the Kelp Raider for that Black Marlin. I'm gonna be so honest, I don't like that one either. So I was really not feeling this trade. I'm not gonna lie. But I didn't want to decline because I didn't want to be rude. But this was such a long trade for me. So then they ended up starting to ask me for free pets. So they said, can you give me one free, the unwanted, please? And usually I instant decline when people ask me for free pets. But because I was in this trade for someone else, in this trade with someone else for a very long time, I didn't want to. But then they said, I accept toys, pet wares. I just declined at that because I am not going to give you a free pet if you keep asking for it. Anyways, I finally got out of that hugely long trade, and I found someone with a Neon Kai Junior, which I was so happy about because I've been looking for Neon Kai Juniors for quite a while now, and they have not been super hard to find. It's just that I don't even trade that much. I usually just grind in my private servers. So I don't actually ever like go out looking for pets anymore, but the time that I spent looking for pets, it doesn't take me too long to find Neon Kai Juniors. I feel like a lot of people have them. So I just said like, would you rather an unmade plus ads or something else? Like, because I could offer them like one pretty good pet or four regular Kai Juniors plus a worse pet. So I put in this Primal Kai Junior to see if they would take the Primal Kai Junior for the Neon Kai Junior. And because they are both Kai Juniors, so maybe they would take that because at least they're still getting some sort of Kai Junior back. But then they asked what would the ad be if unmade. So here I did put in some options, like I could add one of these to 4 Kai Juniors. And then I put in those Kai Juniors again. I have way too many Kai Juniors, man. I got a lot from just trading with my friends because I was trading them for age up. I was trading my age up potions for them. And then they asked for the Gloomy Leo, so I guess they meant Gloomy Dolphin. And, oh, just ignore that. And then they asked if I had an Indian flying fox, so I just said no, sorry, but we did end up doing this trade, and I did have to say goodbye to one of my Gloomy Dolphins, even though I do love the Gloomy Dolphins. I think it's worth it because I have a ton. I would love to have more, but it's okay. And I was able to get a new Neon Kai Junior for my Mega, so I'm really happy with that trade.